Mm-hmm. Oh, how sweet. Oh, wow. That is gorgeous. Oh, nice. I want to like if I ever start doing it, like taking out little packs of tea and leaving tea. You can do that, right? You leave a tin. Oh, come on, Nick. No, no, I can put it in the tin. Yeah, if I have it in the tins, those are airtight. And the tea is fine. Yeah, the tea is fine. Nothing will ruin it. Mm. Yes. Yeah, Eric texted me. He let me know that his internet went down. Yeah. And then Joe and Jeremy, I don't know. They've left their chairs. It's kind of interesting. They're like right next to each other on my view with their chairs empty. That's funny. Hey, Hungry Wolf, what's up, man? So Hungry Wolf got his tea. Kayla, did you get your tea? Did you get it? Okay, yeah. Hungry Wolf got his tea. He came onto my Monday like dignified hospitality chat. Uh, very nice of him to come chat with me, and so I sent him some tea as a thank you. I don't know, Hungry Wolf. You drink whatever you want to drink, but based upon you saying that you like, Taiwanese tea, I kind of curated based off of that. And then I think I did put some matcha in there as well. That's ceremonial grade matcha, so you can drink that on its own, but you can also play with it in cooking because, why not? I did send him some Jushan Oolong. Should he drink that first, Sam? Okay, Sam. Sam says that you should drink it's called Jushan Natural on the label. It's Jushan Natural. Yeah, he can hear you. I'm just confirming. I know he heard you. That's so awesome. That's so many layers. What was that the other night? We were in Topia. Yeah, Sam, you explain it. because I was streaming it too. Yeah.
To drop into, and it's audio only.
Okay. So it's like a group call.
Yes, except the person that started the room, when you join, you're automatically muted, and the person that is like administrating the room gets to choose who to unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, and what else is interesting is that you can't just download the app. You have to get invited.
Oh wow.
By another user.
And you have to be an iPhone user.
And you have to be on an iPhone. What's up, Hungry Wolf?
Hungry Wolf is here.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Hashtag pass.
In the house.
That's it.
In the tea house.
All is well today.
Hungry Wolf, how was your meal yesterday? It looked delicious. I caught a little bit of your prep on it.
Oh, that actually turned out really nicely. Although I did something dumb, and I tried recording at the same time as I was streaming, and it turned the stream and the VOD into a choppy mess. I was super grumpy about that. I'm not sure if it actually caused problems in real time, but when I looked at it afterwards, I was like, oh shit.
I see. Yeah, no, in real time when I was watching it, everything seemed to be like flowing good. Yeah.
Well, that's refreshing.
Yeah.
Thank you for affirming my.
And Sam, just to be clear.
Hey guys, you know what's interesting about? Go ahead, Elise.
I second Joe's wide eyed.
I was just waiting.
As Sam, Hungry Wolf could not hear you earlier because I only had my mic on my OBS and not my internal, so, and I've done that a couple of times with the Tea Talks because I switch things up and I forget to do that. So like technically he didn't hear you and that's all my fault. It's all my fault. But you know what that did? I think that motivated him to come on. Right? Was that like a cool little hack to get you to come to Topia with us?
It doesn't hurt.
He's like, I want to hear them. I want to hear what they're saying. I have to go to Topia to hear what they're saying.
Gotta be a little forward on these live things. Like, Nick, don't be afraid to just like run over the top of somebody. You're good.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say what's interesting about this geocaching is a lot of the ones in my area are like canned food.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like in the neighborhood. And what's weird is that I have walked by, like I've walked in some parks and trails and have seen just like boxes of canned food left next to trash cans.
Okay.
So I'm guessing yeah, it's interesting that like for people who like go to food banks and things like that, maybe if they're on geocaching, they can go find other like drop-off locations too.
What is that, like a bag of mulch? What the fuck are you eating?
What are you eating, Sam?
That is the largest bag of potato chips.
Yeah, that was a very big
That's
bag.
exactly what I thought they were, too.
It's a bag of mulch.
Might as well be.
Might as well be
mulch.
mulch. Might as well be mulch. Vegetarian bullshit.
Organic garden veggie sticks.
I'm just.
Are you
I'm
doing
just kidding. I'm hungry for
pieces?
them now.
Do you want one, Big
Yeah, totally.
He's all, I want some. I'm gonna go get my bag.
Yeah.
I got the
I
dehydrated
would love some of that
snapping.
vegetarian bullshit.
Those look so soulless, though.
He's all,
Soulless. like
He's
like,
got
vegetable styrofoam.
He's got chicharron. He's got chicharron as well. So
It's not discriminate, yeah.
he's making up for it. He's making up for it.
Yeah, I just put the chicharron away after eating the whole bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is like filler.
Preserve
This
the
is like
veggies.
filler to,
You gotta You know, you bring
He's got an entire balanced diet, all in the form of dehydrated chips.
it. Yeah.
Or maybe you'll send him
Bravo,
some
sir.
astronaut ice
Bravo.
cream and
He's
round
living
it
in the
out.
future. He's living. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's the current X Prize challenge is the future of food. The future of food. And that's the Sam's figuring it out right
Oh right.
there. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
figured it out. Shop at Costco and buy the big bags of lightly
It's,
fried
yeah.
food. At Costco.
Everything. Buy 2 gallons of coconut oil at a time.
Yeah.
I do that. That's the only thing I buy at Costco.
That's the main reason I have a
Buy a
Costco
6-pack
membership.
of plasma TVs.
A 6-pack.
Quinoa.
I've just been buying like chunks and meat. And I don't know why, but my body is just craving just pure protein.
I don't know why. It's only
Oh.
10 below zero, says Joe.
right? Like, hello, rabbit fever.
Like, I need meat.
Yeah, we had roast last night. We had whole chicken like 2 nights before that.
Mm.
Oh god.
Yeah, like I was shopping last week and I found untrimmed tri-tips on sale for like $2.50 a pound. They're normally like $10.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just like, hello, I'm just gonna fill my car. I'm gonna play some supermarket sweep with this.
Oh, nice.
And so, chest freezer, great investment.
Yeah.
My chest freezer is like my favorite appliance in my whole house.
Mhm.
We always go to like our local farmers markets and farmer friends and stuff though, and like, you know, they'll do chickens like 2-3 times a year or whatever, and we're like, I'll take 5, you know what I mean? Or
Mhm.
one of my
Yeah,
friends
sure.
Hey,
here and
kind of on this
go
Sorry.
ahead, Nick.
on this meat tip, I have a dad joke for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
What did
Oh,
the
yeah.
bison farmer tell his son when his son left for school in the morning?
Bye, son.
Bye,
Bison.
son.
That was a super daddy. Yeah.
I love
Don't
it.
worry, Dad. I'm not going
Just
far
heard it
away.
today.
I'm just going out to Buffalo emissions vehicle. That was my response.
Ooh.
I'm out. This is too much. I'm out.
Buffalo
all
emissions vehicle.
So, Elise, you posted about
Hey, you know what's been? Oh, go ahead.
Year of the
Go
Ox.
ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. The other day, I had some serious cow medicine. I saw a baby cow, you guys, on my evening walk.
Aw.
wow.
Did you go
Bitcoin.
say hello?
Bitcoin.
No, there were 2 adults, and they kind of scare me because they have long horns,
Okay.
and they're just in this open range.
Oh wow.
And they seem to not be temperamental, but that's a wild animal, so I stood back.
Yeah.
A wild animal with a young new baby. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was noticing all this like cow,
Horns.
yeah, long ass horns. Lots of cows, and then I remembered that it is Lunar New Year and that there's a new animal. So thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
What were you saying,
when
Nick?
is it now? Is it now the Lunar New Year?
Well, it's like the
Friday.
eve. Yeah,
We-
tomorrow. Yeah. It's like the
starts
eve of
at
Oh,
it.
okay, so we're entering.
Mhm.
Ah, beautiful.
I'm glad I got my
Beautiful.
grocery shopping done because the closest supermarket is 99 Ranch, and
Oh.
going shopping at an Asian market in the week of the New Year is not a good plan.
It's a busy plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you in Vegas?
No,
too,
I was gonna
Hungry
say
Wolf?
earlier.
No, I'm actually in. I'm in the East Bay of California.
Okay.
Hmm.
Sorry, Nick. What were you saying?
Nice. Oh, it's all good. I was gonna share with you guys my most recent decadent snack. It's a simple one, and I got. So this isn't for everybody. Like you could use coconut oil, but I had gotten some duck fat on sale.
Yeah.
So I have been popping popcorn on the stove with duck fat.
Oh yeah.
And seasoning it with Himalayan salt, some chipotle seasoning, and a little nutritional yeast.
That sounds
It's
fucking
been out of this world. Yeah. The duck fat is so decadent.
Yeah.
Sounds
Oh, I
so
bet.
good.
Actually, I've been doing something similar, strangely enough. One of my housemates was like, I'm tired of buying the smart food like white cheddar popcorn. So he bought this 2-pound jar of cheddar cheese powder. And I was talking about the tri-tip. I rendered off all that extra fat cap, so we basically made cheesesteak popcorn by popping popcorn in rendered beef fat and with white cheddar on top. Oh my god!
Oh,
Wow.
God.
It felt a little overboard.
Where in the East Bay? Where in the East Bay are you?
Rizzo, I'm coming. Coming over.
No, Hungry Wolf does all kinds of great cooking. He'd be a fun neighbor to have. He's always feeding the house. That's awesome.
I know. Yeah. I want to tune into more of your live streams.
Oh, I'd love anytime. I'm still dialing in when I'm actually gonna do them, because it's like I've got the rest of the I have the rest of the house to think about. I don't want to bother anybody while I'm doing it. And if I'm if somebody wants to make another cup of coffee while I'm in there streaming, it's gonna get awkward. So yeah.
Coffee bonus!
Yeah.
They have to dance.
Yeah. Oh, your roommate's gonna hate that. Your roommates are gonna hate that.
They would know though before they leave their room. I'm gonna have to dance for this cup of coffee.
Oh god, that would be the worst.
Yeah.
I'm imagining myself
Yeah,
as
they
that
have
roommate.
anytime.
It's like doing the truffle shuffle.
You could have like a cash cab setting. Like anytime one of your roommates comes into the kitchen, you like throw the cash cab lighting on and they kind of like make their coffee.
Oh my god.
You have to answer foodie questions.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you pull them into the show. That'll teach them to stay out of the kitchen when you're streaming, right?
True.
They're all like studying for a final. They're like, I just really need my coffee. That was fun.
Laura said hello. Laura, we're going to see you soon. She says she's coming. She has work to do, but she's coming. And today's a special day for her because she does celebrate the Lunar New Year and wants to come celebrate with us. So we'll stick around, Laura. We'll keep going for you.
Awesome. And yes, it is a holiday today.
Where's Tev? Yeah, where's Tev? Hopefully he's sleeping. Hopefully.
Right?
It's Denmark, 9, 10. Yeah, it's like 2:30 in the morning over there.
And plus he might
That does not stop Taft from fucking hanging out.
That's true.
he might be angry at me right now because
What did you do?
I made a clip of him while he was making cinnamon rolls, and he was like
that.
he was making cinnamon rolls and he was like smearing his cinnamon stuff, and like his cinnamon stuff was like deep brown and very thick, and he's like smearing it all over, and he was like do 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 do, and I like made a clip of it, and I have it, and I haven't sent it anywhere because I know he'd hate it, but he hasn't talked to me since, so I'm wondering.
You haven't got to show him his doo-doo batter.
That'll be all right.
Do 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 do. It's like he's got this like his little spatula smearing it all over.
I have a legit question, Elise, and this is like all due respect. I'm asking, coming from the opposite side of the spectrum, but what's with the whole Eric and streaming thing?
Some people just don't, they don't want to stream, and that's cool. I've actually encountered this several times with other people too. And actually, one of my friends, she's been on with me, like physically with me, a couple of times. Faith actually, and she's found her boundary. I don't want to do that anymore. It's not for me, and that's cool. Sometimes people have to learn that, but it's also really cool when someone proactively says, like that's not what I want to do today. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to like wrap my head around why you would say that.
Because you don't want to be on the internet for everyone to look at you.
Mm-hmm.
What is that a bad thing?
It certainly can be.
It can
Yeah.
be like
Mhm.
Like,
Privacy.
imagine the worst of your high school drama and then extrapolate that to the entire world.
yeah.
Like, airing one's dirty laundry or one's mistakes, like, it's really easy for that to get way out of control, and it's really easy to just get dogpiled on.
I feel like you might have to have. There's got to be some level of like baggage, unaddressed baggage there for that to be a problem. I guess I don't know. I'm legitimately trying to remain as respectful as possible here. I'm totally cool.
So-
It just does not compute
Mhm.
because
Here's an
I don't give a
example,
fuck. I'm no different to you guys right now than I am to the entire internet all the time.
So I could be on here and it's streaming and I just say something and somebody records it happening and completely takes it out of context and steers me along a bunch of different things. Like I have a little bit of aversion to being streamed, but not so much that I'm like I am consenting to be here. I choose to come and do this, but like it does make me a little uncomfortable.
I can see how it's important to know that you're streaming.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because there are definitely things I would not say right now because we're not. Partially because it's there are other people's details. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But there are things in my own personal life that I guess wouldn't say necessarily on the internet. Maybe in the confidence of like just Elise by herself or something that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I have
Joe?
times where I don't want an Instagram account or a Facebook account. Like, I just want to completely be off of the internet. I go through stages like that.
Why?
And it's
Ditto.
not even like I'm paranoid of somebody, like, doing anything to me. It's just that I don't want that much exposure. Like, it feels like we're, like, normalizing the lack of privacy.
Mhm.
And for some people, they, like, just don't want to do that.
And then there's
I don't know.
on and
That's
off
my
days.
take on it.
Some days I don't stream purely because I just I wake up that morning and I'm like, what the hell? I like sit and talk to a camera for an hour every day and like let people watch in on me. Like that's weird. I don't want to do that today. I'm not going to do it today. You know, and then I wake up the next morning and I feel very different, and you know what I mean? So I think it's just boundaries, and different people have different.
I totally understand that. Just trying to make it make sense. I guess I don't know a little bit more.
Joe, there's also an association thing.
Okay.
What you are comfortable talking about on stream might be very different from what I am comfortable talking about on stream.
Right.
But you talking about something that you're comfortable talking about and I'm not comfortable talking about, the fact that I'm even present in that conversation live on stream could be uncomfortable.
Makes a weird association.
So you're okay with associating with me, just not people knowing that you associate with me. In that sense.
Maybe.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay with people knowing that we associate with each other. But if we're having a conversation that you're comfortable talking about on stream and I'm not comfortable talking about on stream, I don't feel like we are equals in that conversation.
I guess because you would have like an inclination to want to be able to participate, but then do not feel comfortable participating.
I don't feel comfortable participating in something that is totally in your green zone, but it's in my yellow zone.
Right. All right. There's a lot of like identity psychology going on here, though.
Oh, definitely.
In general, it's all.
But I mean, that's what streaming is putting a spotlight on yourself and saying, "Hey, everybody, come look at me."
Mm-hmm.
And in this instance, it's Elise saying, "Hey, everybody, come look at us."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then having these kind of conversations is kind of cool because then, you know, we can talk about these things. Because a lot of times, like, what we're talking about specifically right now never gets talked about. It's like,
Right.
It's an uncomfortable thing. No one ever talks about it. So it's like, well, why don't we do it on the stream? And
There are a lot of very shy people in the world. I get it.
Right.
yeah.
The world is it can be a harsh place. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially the internet, where
Yeah.
people don't have the same social consequences that they have in person. So
To put it mildly.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure at least, Kayla, you probably, like, the whole being a woman on the internet is a very, very hard thing.
I can dig that.
53% of the time we're sexualized. It's
Like if they took my head right now and placed it on an AI algorithm, I'd be naked. They'd be like, she's a wild geocacher.
Right. And like
But
this
yeah.
is stuff that a lot of people like know in concept, but encountering it and feeling like the depth of it is something that doesn't happen, I would say, often enough.
So
Like sometimes that's the kind of lesson in adjusting one's perspective that doesn't get talked about, and it just doesn't have the time and consistency to sink in.
So I see now. Everybody has answered my question here, and almost everybody has been on that same page of like, well, some people don't.
Wait, Jeremy hasn't answered your question.
Oh, Jeremy's turn. Jeremy's turn.
Very
But,
Isn't that Jeremy's about to just like drop the knowledge bomb that's going to actually answer everything? And just be like, oh yeah, now we all get it.
I have another question that is, do you see a benefit in the vulnerability that it takes to be okay with screaming?
Jeremy unmuted himself, so I kind of want to hear what he has to say. But yeah, I'm open to answer that at a later. Yeah.
No, I was going to kind of bring up what Joe was talking about. It's interesting which way it goes. Like we've talked a lot about how vulnerability is a very, very scary thing for a lot of people. It's just a matter of like where are they coming from? What fear is there on the other end of the camera?
Right, and that's kind of what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about maybe what those fears are, because I feel like some of them, okay, some of them are reasonable, and then there are other ones where it's like, well, maybe it would be healthy for you to address that fear and to do that thing that you're so afraid of doing.
I'm in alignment with that idea.
Like exposure therapy.
I think it is extremely important to address the things that you are afraid of. No matter whether you're like, I'm gonna go, blah, blah, blah. Not like you don't have to do it like that, But I think it's extremely important for you to shake your fear's hand, understand why you have that fear, and work yourself out of it. Maybe even in the long term. It doesn't have to be right now, but understand that it's there, address that, and work to be a more vulnerable, yet more conscious human being every day. You know what I'm saying? So don't just like open yourself wide open for anybody to take advantage of, but at the same time, don't hide in the corner all the time.
I want to hear more from Jeremy.
He's gonna be like, click mute.
So sorry, I have some hearts I need to adhere to.
Yeah, this has been a struggle today. Right. Hold on. I don't know. It is. Isn't it sort of Jungian? You have to identify the fear and then go attack it.
Mm-hmm.
But identifying the fear is the hardest part. Mm-hmm. Everybody always forgets that that step one is always the hardest part. Everyone's anxious to do step 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever. But if you can't properly identify the fear, then nothing else good can happen after that. But you have to identify it and then go attack it. As much as you can, you have to destroy it.
So Laura is not here, but she's given us some good insight from Twitch. And I wish she was here to talk, Joe, and give you her full answer to it, because she talks a lot about boundaries. It's like a really important, part of her work.
She's a very open and vulnerable person. For that.
Yeah. But then she's also extremely sensitive to other people's boundaries and then her own boundaries, which is important. But she says, I think the problem is that you can't tell people that their boundaries are something to be worked on.
That, Joe. You can't force someone to be like, expand your boundaries. Like if it's a
Right.
boundary, respect that.
And
don't like
never
put
once
them
did
into
I.
a corner to like address an underlying fear.
Yeah,
Like
well, never
let
once
that
did
be
I.
their process.
Never once in this entire thing did I assert the idea that having the boundaries is wrong. I don't.
I kind of perceived that that was where you were going.
No,
That is
my idea from the beginning was specifically to say that I don't necessarily understand because I don't have those same types of boundaries. So
Yeah.
it's not that because I operate in a different way, I think your way is wrong. It's I don't understand. I don't have a framework to understand that way of operating. So it doesn't mean that should be eliminated. But then after we had clarified maybe why people would have these boundaries, I also wanted to bring in, do you think, and I phrased it as a question, do you think it is beneficial to work to be a more vulnerable and open human being?
Of course, that works for everybody. It's beneficial for everybody, but then also everybody is on their own journey, and you can't force them to go at any kind of rate. You can show them, you can inspire them, and show them through your own actions, and may inspire them to be like, okay, I'm gonna push myself. I'm gonna do this.
I do not mean to try and coerce anybody to being more vulnerable.
Yeah.
I told Eric can do whatever the hell he wants. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wait, no, tea service is totally coercing vulnerability. It's like, come have tea with me, be vulnerable, it's okay. Is that really coercion? I don't think so. I mean, no, it's not, because coercion is like lying, or it's like deceiving in order to like pressure somebody to do something. But I mean,
it's cool too. I have an appreciation for people with those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't necessarily understand it. So you're teaching me something on the same note. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, I feel like there's an inference in our culture where if you're like, I don't do it this way, and so that automatically means that I think the other ways should not exist. We do that in our culture in like a bunch of different ways, right? That is not at all what I mean here. I don't operate that way. But you are perfectly justified, perfectly within your own rights to have more boundaries that should be unsaid, and it should go unsaid. But I think it's really beneficial to talk about this, and for me to go, this is why I don't have very many boundaries, and for you to go, this is why I have a ton of boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And then have a discussion. Neither are wrong. Neither should be eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also say that it's important to, in a lot of what I've heard you talk about with like identify the fear, engage with the fear, overcome the fear, that kind of stuff. Like certain boundaries are there and they don't need to be pushed. They don't need to be expanded.
Absolutely.
They're fine right where they are.
I totally dig that.
Sure, if you push the boundary out, there's something there. So there might be something to gain. But it might also just not be something that somebody's interested in gaining.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I totally did that. Not to say that you should like open up all the doors all at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm going to tell a story that's like completely unrelated, but then it's going to be in a completely different context to make a parallel here. I like to party, and I used to hang out at a lot of parties where a lot of drugs were consumed, and it was like very normal in the culture, and I don't like drugs like that. And thank goodness, my friends, I've never once had a friend that's given me a problem about this, but if they had, I probably wouldn't have continued partying. I probably would have stopped partying from like the first week. But like, you go to a party and they offer you cocaine and you say, no, thank you, I don't do cocaine. And thank goodness not a single person asked me, why don't you do cocaine? Everybody's doing cocaine here. It's like really great. We should all be doing cocaine together. And because if they would have done that, just kind of like, and asking questions about like, why you don't like cocaine? Like, we all like cocaine. Why you don't like it? Like, not only do I have that boundary for myself and I don't need to justify it or explain it to anybody, but like, I would feel like not wanting to be around that community anymore because they're constantly going to be asking me, why I don't like to do cocaine. But they don't, and I allow them to do what they do and they allowed me to do what I do and we all got along and it was great. And so what that is just respecting the boundary. Someone communicates a boundary, you just like respect it and try your best not to like dissect it or like ask about it, because yeah, if anybody would have dissected my unwillingness to do cocaine, I like totally would not hang out with them anymore, you know?
Sorry.
You can laugh. It's okay. It's a
No,
funny.
I'm thinking of. Are you familiar with Metalocalypse?
That's a cartoon, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. I was thinking of a character called Dr. Roxo, who's essentially one of his taglines is "I do cocaine."
Clip that.
Clip that.
Out of
Yeah,
And
someone
Joe,
just
this is
pointed
why
out,
some
and
people
now
don't
there's
want
a
Of
meme.
course they do. You see?
Hungry wolf.
That's the sort of thing that can happen completely out of context and just torpedo somebody's entire career.
Or it could make their career depending on what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Right.
that's true.
Yeah.
Go back to the Instagram of that chai dude,
Mm-hmm.
for example. The you know the one I'm talking about, right, Elise?
The chai
there was
dude.
The chai seller that was like super duper like 20 out of 10 photogenic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that guy.
Like that's the kind of thing, like something can randomly go viral or mimetic and just immediately make a career from scratch. Or like that convict that ended up with like modeling contracts.
Mimemic? That's an incredible word. That's the first time I've ever heard that word.
I like that word.
That's a strange one, true. But
I agree.
But yeah, it's like wasn't Salt Bay like that? Like Salt Bay was kind of like
I hate that guy.
He's coming to Vegas. He's opening up a place here in Vegas.
He may or may not. It is buried in legal bullshit. I've been keeping tabs on it.
Oh,
because-
okay.
Yeah, oh god. Like,
Wait, what kind of
not
legal
only
bullshit?
is he like a no talent hack, but he's not good at keeping things above board.
I don't know about this.
Um,
I felt like I liked what you said, Elise, about not dissecting boundaries. That's what I was feeling in response to the question Joe presented, was like, why
Yeah.
does it need to be dissected? Why do I need to be pushed into what might potentially be trauma for me, but
mhm.
like you don't experience the trauma, so therefore like your desire to understand is causing me to do labor that's actually quite taxing,
Mhm.
and like encouraging me to do that for your benefit. Like I felt frustration in that, even though it wasn't exactly directed at me, but it's a
Mhm.
thing that happens frequently in culture
Yeah.
and society.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
anyways, I appreciate
it's
what you said. Thank you.
when I try to make up a story in a different angle to kind of show the parallel.
Yeah.
And that's like that.
Yeah.
Or it's like going to a sex party. Like maybe you want to be among that community and then like, but you have certain boundaries. And if everybody starts dissecting your boundaries, like, yeah, it's trauma that
Yeah.
and it's things, it's
How
pain,
have you
it's
been to
work.
my house and have never been to my house?
Wait, why can't we stick it in your butt?
Come on, Sam.
What? It's like I'm wearing the whatever color bracelet that means don't touch me. But everyone wants to know, why are you wearing the
Oh
orange
yeah, I remember that.
bracelet?
What were the
Not
colors
that I've-
again? Like green is like you can come hang out with me.
The
Green is like, I'm on
green is
board.
open contact, yellow is like ask or don't go too far, and red is
Okay.
like meh, hands
Oh,
off, or
Yeah,
like
red.
observer or something like that.
Okay.
Red's like, I'll
Wait, are
approach
you guys talking
you.
about hanky code now? Hanky code goes a lot deeper than red, yellow, and green.
Ain't that the truth? I could throw a rock
Right.
and hit San Francisco. So if you wanna deep dive on that one, I got you.
He's all, I got some info.
I'm not familiar with that, but I met a guy at Burning Man like one early morning, and I was just enjoying some art, and he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" And he like showed me his bracelet, and he like there's some color, and I was like, "No, I'm sorry, I don't know what that means, but I don't think I'm interested. I'm not a playful type like that. Sorry."
I'm pretty sure it means something that I don't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
I think
For Burning Man.
Hey, Mafelda, what's up, girl? We're having
Get back
fun
to
here. Get back to work, Sam. I like how we're like so safely trolling people from inside here into a different world on the other side of the world. Get back to work. Yeah, they're working a new project now. They sent me some photos of their new project and like a new deck. Lots of cool stuff. But they're having nice weather there, at least. Not -4. What, -10, Joe, you said you're at now?
Yeah, I think it's probably -12 by now.
And there's no COVID.
And there's no COVID there, yeah.
It's negative.
where?
In Australia. So Mafalda was telling me about, because, we were talking about doing some travel together, and she's like, yeah, I don't think we can do it because it's like $3,000 each. It's a mandatory 2-week quarantine in special hotels when you arrive. And it's $3,000 a person. That's why they don't have COVID, because no one wants to do that, to go to Australia.
They put a price on it.
Yeah. I
That's
guess.
a really tiny Gaiwan, Joe. It looks like.
Yeah, he's got a kitty.
It's like itty bitty.
It is. It's perfect for these like single person sessions. So
So Joe, while you were gone, we did touch on one other thing about boundaries and not like dissecting them. In that, like, when somebody expresses a boundary, it's not really okay to ask like why that boundary, or at least if you're going to, you got to be really gentle, because often it means like you're trying to understand, which is great, but you're also asking somebody to step into a vulnerable space.
right, of which they've already established that they do not want to step.
Right.
Exactly.
Hence that boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just there's another area of being where the curious need to be careful and
Yeah, you want to be articulate and eloquent with your poking in your body. Yeah, I can. Well, that's why I phrased it as I did, because it wasn't like, why you doing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to know your business, but I would like to wrap my head around the idea of those boundaries just in the first place, and maybe be able to respect them a little better through understanding.
Yeah, but you kind of have to let them lead that conversation. You know, it's just like the same thing with like, if you're going to talk to somebody about racism, like if you want to talk to your black friend about his experience, you kind of have to like let them lead the conversation, because you don't know what their traumas are and what's going to happen. And, especially if you're their friend, you gotta let them ask the questions and lead the conversation.
Yeah, you don't know what it's going to cost them to inform you.
That's a fair way to put it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What's a safe way to express interest?
That's a good question, Sam. That's a really good question. I mean, even outside of this context we're talking about, like any sensitive subject, we want to like learn from our friends and learn about things, because like we got to do that. We need to like build that confidence of vulnerability with our friends, that this is a safe place for you to talk about your experiences, and I'm not going to judge them, or I'm not going to criticize them, because they probably have been criticized, especially something about being shy. If you're a shy person and you're an adult, you probably have gone your entire life, like every teacher you've ever had, every parent, every older family member is all probably giving you a hard time about being shy. Like, why are you so shy? Why don't you just break out of your shell? You know what I mean? And so it's,
Well, I think so. Part of that, and I just want to kind of offer this up. I'm not necessarily stating it as truth, but as someone who is not super shy, it makes sense to me for, if you are more on the shy side, to meet me at the table, so to where I need to not ask too pointed questions, don't be too aggressive. You know what I'm saying? That is absolutely my responsibility. Don't be a fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? But then on your side, educate me as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? Because the more I understand, the better I can respect those boundaries that you're drawing in the first place. Does that make sense?
What if they're not interested in educating you on that?
They
Like,
don't
what if
have
they're
to.
just-
That is by no means what I'm trying to say. They don't have to. But
Oh, that's kind of what I just heard from you. Was like, if I'm showing up, I want you to show up and educate me.
no, my
Did I
point
interpret that
would
wrong?
I'm not trying to say there's an ultimatum there. I'm saying that in order to benefit the situation best, both sides
But
can do
who's
something.
benefiting from that situation?
No, in order to benefit the your boundaries.
Possibly everybody.
Yeah, like there's only so much you can do. Like you have to entreaty, you have to have gentle entreaties, and you have to leave it open-ended. Like you can't be seen or come across as the aggressor. Like you have to let them become comfortable with the idea of opening themselves up and sharing those limitations, those boundaries, those vulnerabilities.
I like that.
Like it's a very open-ended, like passive approach.
So, is that to say that
It's not
Like,
it's
it may
not
be
to
a thing
rush
that they
either. Like it's hard to.
don't
It's going to
talk
be
about.
deliberately slow.
right, and by no means should this be some sort of time period or ultimatum for that matter. That's what I was trying to convey to Kayla. Is it's not like all respect your boundaries if you educate me on it. That's not what I mean at all. You know
That's
what
like
I'm
how I
saying?
was hearing what you were saying, though.
Okay, so that's not at all what I mean. In order to benefit the situation the best, so for me to have the best possible respect for your boundaries and for your boundaries to be respected the best, there is a way for everybody to work together.
Isn't the best way, though, for somebody's boundaries to be accepted for no to mean no?
Yeah,
And
like
that kind of
I might not know what I'm doing to make you uncomfortable.
I'm offering you feedback about that in this moment in real time.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense right now. Like, I don't get what you're. I don't know.
It seems like maybe what you're not hearing is like if somebody expresses a boundary and your like desire to, for the benefit of everybody, is what you're saying, is to like come to the table and talk more about that boundary. That's actually more for your benefit than it is for mine, because I've already established that I don't want to talk about the boundary.
I'm not
Does that
saying
make
to
sense?
do that.
Or?
Yes, that makes sense, but that's not what I'm saying to do in that moment. I am saying, however, in your daily discourse.
So you're saying, like, over the course of time, as we are friends, you may notice,
log
oh,
off.
that's a boundary, and I don't, they don't want to talk about it right now. But moving forward, you can drop it in that moment, and then maybe open space for it in future if that person brings it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a better way of putting it. It's not like I need you to make it make sense to me on my time schedule. That's by no means what I'm saying. But if we come to a thing, so we come to a situation where, let's just use an example. Me and you come to a situation where I say something that makes you uncomfortable. You communicate that to me, that is a boundary. I leave that alone. Then maybe later on, you, in your effort to help me understand where your boundaries lie, can offer that up if you feel so inclined. It's not like I'm asking you to offer, but it is like if you get to a place where you feel comfortable to be like, hey, you remember that the other day when that thing happened, and you're like, I kind of don't like it because of this, or whatever, or like this.
So Laura provided a suggestion of what you can say, like what question you can ask to open up the floor to your friend. And she says, I'm open to listen to your boundary if you'd like. If you'd like to. I'm open to listen to your boundary if you'd like to. So that's a way that you can open up that dialogue, Joe.
Right, and that's kind of more or less what I guess what I don't know if I'm miscommunicating this to you or not.
Yeah, you didn't say that when you asked the question to open up this conversation. You didn't ask that.
It's more of like, I guess if I'm coming off like I need something, that's not what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I am trying to say, okay, so people on this side, this is the best way to handle people that are more guarded. You know, like that's absolutely. And then people who are more guarded, the best way for people to understand where your boundaries lie is to let them know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then if we let you know and there's like more prodding,
No.
that makes me less inclined to care about you understanding or respecting my boundaries. It makes me want to put up more of a guard. So I'm just like, oh, I've gathered information. This person doesn't respect my boundary. They won't respect me, like not giving them more info about it. I don't want to spend time with you. Like Elise was saying about the
Cocaine.
Like, these people don't understand that I don't want to do cocaine. Well, shit, I am tired of telling them, and
Right.
I don't need to elaborate. Like, they should respect that I've said no.
You see a validity
Okay,
when I say.
can I say something? I feel like a boundary of being maybe I think it's a bit of a stretch to relate being on camera or on a live feed versus doing cocaine. Because I mean, my boundary is between those two things. Like,
Okay, well, let's say I eat meat. I eat meat, and then I hang out with a bunch of vegans, or I'm vegan, and then I go hang out with a bunch of meat eaters, and the same thing happens. You know, they ask me a bunch, like, why do you not eat meat? Like, and they keep prodding it. We need to understand why you don't eat meat, and like, I just don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So we could use that example. Is that better?
I'll tell you.
That's
Tell you why they don't eat meat. That's a horrible example.
what I'm trying to elaborate is because those people who eat meat might not understand that by inferring that they eat meat and they're confused why you don't eat meat, they might not understand that that even messes you up. You know what I mean? They might not even understand that that's upsetting your boundaries or your traumas or whatever that may happen to be.
But that's the problem right there.
Yeah,
Right.
what if like your need to like get to the root of fear is the same thing as like their need to understand like why they don't eat meat?
That's the parallel I was trying to draw.
That's the parallel. Like
So you're saying their need to get to
like you're wanting to understand why a guarded person won't get to the root of their fear of why they're guarded.
Right.
Might be the parallel between like why a meat eater or a vegan person is like, oh, why do you eat meat? That's so harmful, and like not understand the other person like just being different. I don't know if I articulated that well
No,
enough.
it's kind of making sense, but I guess the point that I was trying to bring in the first place is for that person to immediately offer that up and say, you are making me uncomfortable, or you are, you know what I'm saying? And not just getting offended and being like, you're a dickhead. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it works in both ways. People are just starting to learn the power of boundaries, and that's why I've been talking a lot about it. Like, if we want to live a good life, like, we need to first know our boundaries, and then we need to communicate them, because what ends up happening is people end up being passive aggressive. You know?
Yeah.
Exactly what I'm trying to articulate.
But Joe, you in return are being aggressive and could potentially be hurting someone without knowing. You know what I mean? And so we have to work it from both ways. Yes.
Right. So if I'm coming from the one side and saying, I want to know how I could possibly upset you. Does that make sense?
Right. So by expressing that you're open to listening if they wish to express themselves, you're instead of creating instead of asking them to do something, create the opportunity for them to do it.
So phrase your question not necessarily in an inquisitive way, but more in like an opening.
Yes.
I can
Yeah.
get that. Absolutely.
And maybe not imply that like there's something wrong with the boundary that needs to be dissected.
I mean,
Initially.
Yeah.
definitely
and
Like maybe tell me something more about that when you have the time and the inclination.
and that's
and
what
that-
I was trying to say.
And that's about as far as you need to take it. Like they
Right.
And if they decide not
Expressing your
to,
interest
then
and
say no more.
understanding without asking them to do anything.
I got you. So like, they're not trying to solve a problem, basically.
Mm-mm.
Well, there is no problem.
Exactly. There is no problem.
That's what I'm trying to-
The boundary is not a problem.
This has been a great conversation, guys. Like, I appreciate that everybody has been willing to have this conversation because it's a difficult one, and I hope whoever's watching is learning. And Laura is probably just like running around her house pulling her hair out, like that. Well, no, Laura is working, but she's just listening to us. That's why she's not here talking. Because if Laura was here, you know, she'd have a lot to say about what we're talking about.
You know, hey guys, can I express something around this topic? And it's kind of like where was I gonna go with this? Okay, I get sometimes frustrated or like find out that I don't want to be around certain people who like I have to really like tiptoe and be careful about their boundaries and insecurities. And I don't know, I kind of like clam up when this conversation comes on too, because like I feel like this conversation is becoming more normalized, which is good, but also like it can, like for some people it just feels like the floodgates are always open and they're always triggered, and it's, I mean, some of those people I really enjoy spending time with them until they have to like go through a process because they got triggered on something, and any question I ask is like, and like the details of my words are nitpicked, and how I ask the question, my tone, everything, I have to be so careful, because somebody else like got insecure, and that's a little bit of a different situation, because it wasn't just like them like passively like saying that they have a boundary, no thank you, let's move on. But
that behavior sounds passive aggressive. That behavior, like the fact that you feel like you have to tiptoe, when you feel like you have to tiptoe around a relationship, that person's probably being passive aggressive to you.
Which means their boundaries are not super enforced. And you can also have a boundary of like...
I'm over it.
Like,
my boundary is there. I'm fucking over it.
Yeah, like you can have a boundary of like, I find it really challenging to engage with you in a supportive way right now. So my boundary is to not have this conversation. Is maybe an option for that scenario.
Right. I feel like it's really hard for some people to actually say that sentence right there, though. To be like,
yeah,
it's not. It takes practice.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of essentially what happened. Like, that never happened with me when I was like, well, what about this? And I was like, kind of like digging further than I maybe should have, you know? But nobody was like, don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like that was communicated.
Yeah.
I feel like we spent 10 minutes trying to get you to see that stop digging was kind of the right way to go.
I mean, that's why I said, that's why I just said, I'm glad it didn't, because we got to go deeper, and now I understand that. You know, so that's great.
Yeah, and I'd also just
a reminder that
appreciation for you, Joe, and that like we're not picking on you here.
No, this is
we love you.
Like,
yeah.
we're not going after Joe personally.
I'm glad to be the martyr. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with fucking
good.
embarrassing myself and being an asshole if we
Thanks
all
for-
learn from the situation. You know what I'm saying?
There's
Yeah.
a maxim
Oh,
about
no,
that.
You
I
said that.
Let them see
Yeah,
you
I
sharpen
needed
the
to hear
sword
that,
before you
Joe's not
fall
getting
on it.
picked on.
What was
Can
that,
you-
Underworld?
Sorry?
I said, let them see you sharpen the sword before you fall on it.
I mean, that's
Sam,
fair enough, you know?
You're
Nick,
scared.
what were you saying?
no, I think as Sam was
Oh,
saying
no.
earlier, that all you can do is make yourself available.
Hmm.
And that's it. But what you do is that before that, you sort of drop seeds. You talk about things and sometimes in a roundabout way to make it known. You never sort of address people directly and say, if you want to talk about this, I'm here for you. Sometimes that comes across as really aggressive to
I've
people.
gotten in trouble for that one.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you drop seeds. You talk about stories that are similar so that people feel comfortable enough around you to become personal.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's just about making yourself available in an honest way. And you never have to open up yourself to anybody that doesn't give you that level of comfort as well.
Right.
And recognizing that having a boundary is not necessarily a problem that needs to be solved.
Absolutely. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. See, I think there's this thing that I tend to do. It tends to be a masculine trait just in general. But trying to solve a problem and not even seeing that I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? This has been going around lately. Ask your friends, do they want a solution or do they just want comfort?
Yep.
That's been a thing.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Right. So it's very, 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 very important for the people who just want comfort to say that.
Yeah. That's a
You know what I'm saying?
That is-
Because I might not even see that I'm trying to solve a problem.
Mm.
Like, I'm just like, I see you hurting, and the only thing I know to do in response to this is to make it better somehow. You know what I mean?
So, like, yes, I agree with you. And there's also a layer of, like, perception on your end.
Absolutely.
See that, like, oh, I'm, like, pushing too far, and this person is shutting down, and, like, maybe they don't have the words to say, I can't. Or, like, I just need comfort. Like, maybe they don't know because they're solving a problem, but they haven't teased apart the emotions, and they're confused about if they want to vent or if they want help. So there is a layer of kind of just gauging where someone's at and maybe asking them that question. Would you like me to listen right now, or can I offer you solutions?
Yeah, we're working on this in my relationship, and Ash gets to the point where she just doesn't have the words to convey that.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know how to say that she doesn't want me to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there has to be this compromise on both sides, you know?
Totally.
Well, and I'm sure that, like, most people in the particular questions you were asking about, Joe, like when it comes to, like, shyness or not fully wanting to have yourself out, that's probably something, like, all growing through childhood was a problem by their elders that everybody was trying to fix for them. And so that in itself is probably trauma for them. Like, and so, like, if you even ask about it, they could interpret that as, like, I don't need to be fixed. Like, you know?
I love that. Oh, I just pictured just sitting with somebody under the tree and just not doing anything.
Yeah,
You know?
holding space, just doing nothing.
Ah, fucking beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
And if they start to offer out some hints that they want help on something, and
Bite on them right away. That's
yeah, then you provide what they're asking for, but you hold the space and you let them lead the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Whoa.
Joe, I'm actually also a person who, like, offers unsolicited advice and tries to fix shit. But
Me too.
and I'm like, I do my best to catch, and I'm like, wow, I'm sorry. I feel like I just, like, do you want this right now? I will actually just ask as awkwardly as I can. Like, oh, I just, like, gave you a solution. Are you wanting that? Like,
Right,
you know, like, you're allowed to be messy in this process.
right, because some of the kickback I'll get in doing that, be like, do you even want me to help you there? That aggravates people's boundaries too, right? Just by asking that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But if
Or
you're
like,
not,
oh, did I offer part, was that helpful? Is the thing I can ask. Like,
Right, but then somebody might even be like, they might get upset by you even asking that. You know what I'm saying? That definitely does happen. It has happened to me in the past. And it's like,
well,
both
and I'm
have to communicate.
sometimes that person, and I'll be upset by that question, and it's a level of accountability on my part, because like I am a sensitive hearted person.
Right.
In a conjunction with what Nick was saying earlier, like, not everybody has to be stepping on eggshells around me, like tiptoeing around me. Like if I'm going to go into a process and be hypersensitive, I'm probably going to now at this point in my life like say something like I need space. I need to figure this out. But
You've figured out the words for that at this point in your life.
Through practice and awkwardness and like,
It's hard.
Don't have those words though, and we'll just get more upset. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
So that's probably like what Nick was talking about. Nick was talking about his difficulty with his friendships, that they're just triggered by everything because they probably don't even like hone in on exactly what their boundaries are and then aggressively communicate those boundaries. And aggressive does not mean meanly. It just means like a confidently, like direct to the point. Because if you don't do that, then you end up becoming passive aggressive, and then you put yourself into this victimhood, and you're constantly like, and then all your friends around you are constantly tiptoeing around you. Like that's passive aggressive. That's exactly what that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I legit said something to this effect, which it's not going to sound tactful in this moment, but I've been like, that sounds like something you could like talk to a therapist about. Like I'll plant a seed of like, maybe you should like find a dedicated person who like really wants to help you unpack this, because that's not me. And that's me setting a boundary of like, I care for you, but this is beyond my skill set.
Or even like, I'm not, like, it doesn't need to be me even if I could help you. It can be who you decide, not like I'm deciding I'm going to be your life coach.
Like it sounds like you could, benefit from finding
Other
a person to
people's
talk
boundaries
to.
are on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's super important for people to, understand that. But at the same time, the people who don't have the words to say, these are my boundaries, are already emotional. So it makes sense that they would just get more upset in the first place. You know what I mean?
And I keep thinking about the 4 agreements here, and like, don't take things personally. Like, don't take it personally if someone has a boundary, because it's not a thing that needs to be fixed. And if people don't express their boundaries and they're overly sensitive, don't take that personally, because they have growth to do. And it's not my job to like tell them that or push them there. It's just like an observation of like, I see where you're at, and I love you and I honor you, and this is where I'm at, and I am not willing to hold space for this level of depth with this topic. Or with this process. And that's hard to say. It's hard to receive on the other end. Like, that's hard to say. Like,
it's hard everywhere. You know what I mean? This is not an easy topic.
Yeah.
No.
Like when the world I live in is possibly too much for you as you see the world. Like sometimes that's how it looks, how it feels. It's like maybe there's just some boundary that they aren't prepared to overcome yet, that's keeping them from like, assimilating is the wrong word, coexisting is the wrong word, but you can see where I'm going. Like they are held back from, like, there's the world as it is, then there's the world as it's seen, and they're stuck in the uncanny valley between.
Their window of tolerance,
integrating maybe
therapeutic terms, is very narrow.
Yeah, that's a very good
tolerance. Is like, maybe mine is like this, and most of the world's window of tolerance is like this, and some people are here. And if they go to this level, they're in trauma, they're in hypervigilance. Down here, they're dissociating, they're shutting down. And like, that's not a process that anybody can do for somebody else. We have to learn to like stretch our own edges and like give our nervous system cookies, right? Like, we do something that is scary, and I'm in hypervigilance, but like, it's just at the border. And then I learned that I'm not actually in harm. And then I'm like, okay, I can do this. And that's like some of the fear in my head is just a story from my past. But like, that's such a personal process.
For sure. There is, I mean, obviously, though, through this conversation, there is a value in people who are willing to go ask those questions and maybe, kind of
In a gentle way.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you're doing it from a place of authentic curiosity and not judgment, you know what I'm saying? It's good to ask those uncomfortable questions sometimes, because then you get to have conversations like this that aren't exactly comfortable, but everybody's learning. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not entirely comfortable, but it is also informative
Right.
and borderline necessary sometimes.
Right. And you need that fucking bullheaded martyr every once in a while. You need somebody with a fucking big mouth.
See, this is how you plant seeds. The fact that we're able to have this conversation openly without revealing ourselves or having any need to reveal ourselves means that we probably feel comfortable with each other well enough at this point to open up to each other.
Right.
This is what you can talk openly about something without ever having no one's compelled to talk about themselves.
Right.
But the fact that we can have this conversation means that we probably are comfortable enough with each other, not on a stream, but we're all available to each other right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not like.
Shit, we're streaming right now.
Oh yeah, Nick. Oh yeah. It's been good. I think that this has been a very safe conversation. I think that we've all been really respectful and been listening and learning. And this is valuable. I have no problem with this tangent that we've gone on. And Jeremy, it's looking great. It's looking great. Are those little kisses? Are those little lip kisses or?
Little lips.
No, they're flowers. Okay, little roses.
Roses. It just wouldn't stay.
Use some Gorilla Glue. Isn't that the meme going around right now?
Yeah. Once I get the look I love, let's just make it permanent.
Yeah, I think there was a TikTok meme that's going around. It's like, don't use Gorilla Glue because people were pretending. I don't know if they're pretending or if they really did it, but they're posting videos.
No, somebody did.
Okay.
Like somebody who normally used a hair glue for styling ran out, and so she was like, "Why don't I try Gorilla Glue?" And then it went. Everything went pear-shaped immediately for obvious reasons because it's freaking Gorilla Glue.
Yeah. Good.
But I also saw, I believe, I read an article this morning that somebody managed to, that a scientist managed to come up with a formula to denature that particular
Oh, wow.
glue
compound.
But in a manner that was relatively safe and non-harmful, which is kind of cool. It's actually really neat. But at the same time, it's just like, you got to look at it and be like, I can't believe somebody made me have to do this. It's there are so many inventions in the world that were made because of somebody who did something really stupid.
Yeah. That's the same thing as the whole conversation we've been having.
Progress can come through reasoned debate and analysis, or it can come through in response to catastrophe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or in response to mimetic events. Is that mimetic events?
Yes. Remembrance, right? Remembrance. This is where we all need to read Plato's Meno.
Oh dear.
I love that was the response to that statement. Oh dear.
It's like that fanfic that's going around. Plato is Socrates' imaginary friend.
No. I have to take off. You want to come back next Thursday? I'll take you on with that.
Ooh.
That sounds exciting.
Already 3 hours and we ain't got time for that shit.
I spent a lot of my years.
I don't have enough liquor in my house for that right now.
I know. It's definitely a conversation you have to prep yourself for.
Yes.
Hey,
True.
Jeremy, when your batch is ready, and then if we can all drink it together, then maybe that would be the good time to do that.
Ooh. Yeah.
Jeremy made his own whiskey. Was it bourbon or whiskey?
Ooh.
What?
It can't be classified as bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon has like 8 rules.
Yes.
But this is just straight bourbon. So yeah, the idea is tea infused whiskeys.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah, please tell us more, Jeremy.
Birthday is around the corner.
Talk about that some more.
I am in the process of nuclear aging the whiskey. This is fantastic. So you add the oak into the whiskey, you heat it like in the microwave for like 10-20 seconds, and it forces essentially the whiskey into the wood. Then you take it right to the freezer, and it extracts it from the wood. So basically you're mimicking 4 seasons all at once. So I mean, so I don't have the time to put the oak in and say, hey, 6 months later, let's check it out. Nope, you can do this for a week, and they say it's essentially the same thing. You're kind of artificially aging.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, you're nuclear aging whiskey.
Huh.
So
I would
cool.
say it's totally
Sounds like cheating
cool.
for me, bro.
Cool.
Like how you can use, like
No, it
instead of
sounds
doing like a charred oak barrel, you can throw charred chips in a normal barrel.
And that's what I did. I got a chipped. I went to a distillery and got a stave. That was, and plus a bunch of oak chips from like a barrel they deconstructed. So you take those, you burn them, you char them yourself, and then you add them in. So
That sounds like a cool experiment for sure.
yeah, we're gonna. I think the next thing is gin, but we're just doing whiskey for now.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, the process is the same.
Yeah, it's a
Hey,
different.
aren't there rules for gin, too?
And it's a different still.
Gin is ultimately just vodka that's infused with aromatics. Like in the academic
juniper
sense.
I see.
Primarily juniper, but it's either extracted in the filling process or it's like extracted in the distillate. Yeah, basically it's vodka with botanicals. It's just vodka with stuff.
And it's delicious.
It can be.
It's like a
It
tincture.
can be.
It's an herbal tincture.
It can be awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, no matter what type of liquor, there's the good stuff and there's the bad stuff. Like there's a great reason that Di Serono has brand recognition, because every other type of amaretto has that ether smell to it. Like, you know, like it makes it smell like it's about 50 proof stronger than it actually is.
Yeah, smells like paint thinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. But I my experience with gin is that when gin's bad, it is catastrophic. I've had bad whiskey that was drinkable. I've had bad gin that I probably am still feeling the effects of years later. I actually bought a gin that had 3 ingredients: ethyl alcohol, water, and gin flavoring.
What?
Wait, what, gin flavoring?
Gin flavoring. That was the ingredient. So, but I actually do have to take off now.
Oh, okay. I hope you have a hot date with the beard all dressed up like that, Jeremy.
Yeah, I've kind of got a step too. I've been back and forthing, but I've got to start dinner.
Cool. Hey guys, thanks for coming. Happy Valentine's Day. Did you guys hear about the event that Kayla's going to be hosting in the Tea House on Sunday for Valentine's Day, 5 p.m. Pacific? She's going to be doing, well, here she is. Maybe she could tell it directly. but she's going to be doing a Valentine's Day event. Kayla, they're leaving. Can you give a 15-second pitch?
Yeah, come on Sunday to the 36 questions to fall in love. We're going to ask a series of 36 questions. It's 3 sets, and it gets increasingly more self-disclosing as you go through. And you can bring a partner, or you can match with someone who's at the event. But it's just going to be a safe, non-streaming container for us to connect and ask these questions.
That's a wonderful fucking idea. Did I tell you we did those?
What's that?
Did I tell you we did those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys did it for 6 days or something.
Well, it was it took us 3 different days.
All right, we'll see you guys. Thanks for hanging out, and hopefully we'll see you on Sunday, and then Monday.
Thanks for the evening.
All right, see ya.
Elise,
Yeah.
they were like, I owed $10 in postage.
What?
Yeah, and I said, I paid $15, and he said, it's because they cut the box in half. And I said, last time it was not a problem. So he encouraged me to go to the post office and talk about it.
Yeah, no, I'll take care of that. So you paid it? They made you pay it at the door?
Yeah, he wouldn't have given me the tea. I would have had to go to the post office.
So that's messed up, because I use a service, I print my labels. If there's ever a discrepancy in the weight or in the postage, they automatically charge my account through the shipping service I use. So that's sketchy.
Okay.
That's sketchy
Yeah.
that your post carrier is doing that to you. They're not supposed to do that. I should have been charged the extra $10, which I shouldn't have, because I entered the size of the package exactly right of the size, because I did cut the box.
Yeah.
And
I do that all the time.
I do that all the time, and then I measure the new box. They're just probably pissed that I use a priority box or something, but there's no reason, but I'll take care of it. And that's so stupid that they made, oh man, I'm so pissed. I may have to report your office, specifically.
Yeah, I'm what should I do? Should I go report them as well?
Yeah, you should. And it's happened before, right? You said that another package, or no, Sam was saying he had a package that got charged extra shipping, right?
Yeah, I was no, that's not right. But I wanted my tea, so I just paid for it. But now I'm if I open the box, will I be able to debate it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So
Take a picture of everything, yeah, and then you can open the box.
So you can just refer them to the video.
Yeah. Oh, I could. Yeah, you could. Your unboxing video.
I'm
Yeah.
Look at this unboxing video.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, I'm sad that I missed the whiskey talk, but I saw the postman pull up, and I'm glad I went out there.
Yeah, because then you can get it.
What exactly is happening on Sunday? Where is it?
It's here in the tea house, and
Okay.
I say I'm gonna facilitate. I mean, I'm just gonna talk a little bit and encourage people to practice this series of questions with each other. And Elise and Sam will be here too. Kind of talk a little bit about the space and what goes on here. And yeah, we're just gonna partner up and ask these questions as everybody gets a Valentine's Day date kind of scenario.
Sweet.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna send you a personal message with a link to an article I wrote about it, and it has the questions on there.
Yeah, the questions
Oh,
are
I see.
super cool.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, I'm probably gonna log off soon myself. Go make some food.
so, yeah, it's been fucking 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
It's been good. It went fast.
Thank you guys, and you, Joe, for
Yeah, you as well. I like it when it gets meaty, so thank y'all.
Yeah, that was meaty. I sent a text. I was all, my heart's racing. I was talking about boundaries. My window of tolerance was being pressed.
I would do that every time we had these sessions, you know what I'm saying? But I try not to, specifically for all of the reasons that we were just talking about.
Right.
I like to get into the meat and dig deep down into just people's philosophies and life stuff, but I gotta understand that doesn't happen every time. And so a lot of times I just try and show up and be a face and be genial and hang out a little bit. But
You can still do that. I just want to say that I deeply appreciate when people are willing to get into meaty conversations like that. It's a pleasure and a privilege on my end. Yeah.
for people to open up like that, because like I said in the beginning, I don't work that way. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that anytime. So when you actually cross, like you said, Kayla, you know what I mean? You were pushing that line a little bit. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know?
Yeah, you're welcome. But I'm also like, I have the support of a therapist I see weekly. Like, a lot of people aren't doing that work. I'm like consciously every week, like doing that. So,
Absolutely.
and some people just like fucking aren't there yet. They don't have the resource. They don't have the desire. Like,
Well,
it's not within their means. Like,
you got people on my end the exact same way. Like, they're just fucking assholes about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they come in and they're like, why aren't you fucking doing it? You know what I mean? Just being a dickhead, you know? And I, like, trying to enforce their way of thinking on everyone.
Oh, Laura's here.
Finally,
Laura!
I've been here. Oh, what's happening?
You're
I've been
here.
here on Twitch, and I couldn't let you guys all leave without saying hi.
Hi, Laura.
Frantically. What else is new?
I wanted to mention that I'm using a jetpack, and I haven't had to refresh once.
Whoa.
So I might use that on Sunday.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Versus plugging
My
into
video,
a wall.
my video is still frozen.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see you, but
You haven't been here the whole time.
Well, and you're sitting outside. You're sitting outside in the sun still,
I'm
and
inside now.
the sun is
Yeah, it's still
down.
sunny where I'm at,
Yeah, I was gonna say, cause hold on. Yeah, also. Wait, who's leaving?
Nick is.
Yeah, Nick is gonna go.
Soon. I'm drawing at the moment,
Okay, cool.
but I think I'm gonna go make some food soon.
Well,
Yeah, I wish my camera was working. I'd show you guys what I'm drawing.
Yeah.
I'm actually drawing an ox.
Did you try refreshing?
Many a times. I tried powering down the computer, restarting like 3 times.
Oh wow.
I tried the OBS softwares, and tech is just not my strong suit, unfortunately. I try to get better. I'm here and trying the tools and stuff, but it takes a little bit longer for me with that learning curve.
Yeah, well, so Nick, what I recommend for you is just to do like a full diagnostic of your computer as far as like how much of your memory storage you're using, and like get rid of anything that like you don't need to clear it out. And yeah, because that's probably what it is. Your computer's just like overloaded and
With programs and stuff,
yeah, just processing too much shit and not having any space for this very simple software to happen, because that happens on my laptop too.
Okay.
Shit and don't have enough space to process this.
Yeah. Definitely.
What a
So-
good
For now,
conversation.
I'm chilling.
I'm so mad I didn't get here earlier. I mean, I was.
Aw.
but you were here.
Yeah, you were here, Laura. We heard you. We heard you.
I was
Yeah, thanks for commenting and adding to the conversation.
I tried. The thing that Elise didn't read was where I said parentheses poor Joe and said I know that all of this comes from such
I
a
get raked through the coals. Raked through the coals, man.
I'm happy to be
Loving
there.
me.
I don't know.
no, but like I just had to see, all the sides.
I
She wanted to
I-
acknowledge that.
I couldn't let you leave without saying hey. I was sending heart and hug emojis.
appreciate noticing. Yeah, I mean that means a lot for sure. You know, you're not just like what a dickhead and then fucking
No.
leave. You know. what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
no, you held
And I'm
space.
not like that even with people that like honestly are dickheads. I'm like,
Right.
oh, your inner child is very sad right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's a dialogue.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Nick, what did you say you were drawing?
Not
Oh, I'm drawing an ox.
An-
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Elise, how can I send this to you where you might be able to put it on screen?
you.
You
send it-
can message it through anything, and then I can put it up.
Right.
So you can like you could message me through Topia, like on my little screen box. You'll see that little envelope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My computer camera. I'm gonna just send you a photo on my phone.
Yeah, if you want to send you the phone, you could do that too.
Is this the where? The not sticky rice one? The Lee family?
The Handmaid's Show, yeah. That's the earthy one. That's the really earthy one.
Is that gonna keep me awake? Oh, and I haven't eaten either.
No, it'll be fine. It's actually a very mild, gentle tea. It won't keep you awake, for sure
on an
not.
empty stomach, that one fucks me up.
The show? Oh, okay.
I will eat first.
No, the shung.
Yeah, no, it's a show. It's a show that she has.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
feel
also
like
we stay up all night. Kayla's been here.
You got the tea.
I got some tea.
Oh, that's nice, Nick.
If you do wind up being up all night, Kayla, and you want to hang out, you can let me know and I'll come hang out with you. Because I will likely be up most of the night.
Doing work?
Or at
Like
least
super
until
stuff?
midnight. No, did we hang out on New Year's Eve? I can't remember now.
I saw you so briefly. You were in a kimono, and that was about it. I was like, I'm gonna put on a kimono. Wow, Nick.
Yay! Whoa!
Yeah. That does look great.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for
Very large.
sharing. Yeah.
So
Or does it
So-
just look tiny to you guys? Can you enlarge her screen?
it doesn't
Um,
look tiny. No.
I mean,
No,
yeah.
I zoomed in with my mouse.
Gotcha.
Laura's a good zoomer.
I'm on here all day with kids. I'm like,
But
my cursor is this big now, so they can see where I'm pointing at. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's cool. There's like an eye. There's an eye above the ox. And he looks so sad, kind of.
He's
he's
got a
tranquil. He's like squinting. He's squinting.
I see.
Yeah.
Maybe not sad or like a
It's
solemn.
The drooped lips.
Yeah.
The drooped lips are. Yeah. Maybe I could make him more happy.
oxen
Doesn't
remind
have
me
to
of
be happy.
Hodor. Yeah. He
Hold
can
the
be Hodor.
door, Willis, hold the door.
The symbolism behind the conversation that we had could not be more fucking wonderful.
Yeah. What's the symbolism on it?
There's a bunch of stuff. The ones that stand out to me.
Read it all.
Yeah, read it to us, Joe.
I'll read at least these two paragraphs are the most pointed. The ox or bison is a symbol of abundance and manifesting goals. People with this totem are unafraid, often unpredictable, and willing to meet a challenge head on. Ox people are social creatures who work well in teams, but also have strong personal determination. Sometimes they can be stubborn and insistent, but it's only because they are so driven. Ox spirit animals can lend us the strength to stand our ground, but they remind us not to crash around like a bull in a china shop. Only 5 to 10% of challenges between bulls lead to actual fights. The bulls compete for females by butting heads. They have special bony struts that reinforce their inner and outer skull, as well as a thick mat of hair on their forehead to protect them from the force of the blows. This specifically reminds us of the benefit of being thick-headed. Sometimes it is necessary to know your truth and not give in to the shoves of others. When considering the meaning of ox, remember that you are both the ox and the ecosystem that profits from their action. You have the opportunity to spread abundance wherever you go, as long as you stay true to who you are, and now is the time to give thanks for the myriad of ways that the divine brings abundance into your life. So, long story short, it's like there's benefit in that drive, but it also is a reminder to not be too aggressive. And I feel like that was both sides of that conversation. It was
Totally.
a little bit of uncomfortable push on one side, but also some resistance on the other side. You know what I'm saying? And to meet each other there and be like, I know this is uncomfortable, and this is good for all of us. So
It was the yoke between the oxen.
Fuck yeah, ox medicine.
love
What's
yeah, yeah. So good stuff.
What's going on, Laura? Yeah.
Happy New Year, Laura.
I lost Happy New Year. I lost all of my Reddit envelopes when I cleared my cookies for testing earlier, and I'm
Yeah.
pissed kids now for it. It's their fault. Just kidding.
Red envelopes.
I always read the Year of the Animal books to my students, and so they're like these cute little cartoons, and this one's, you know, obviously the ox. There's a read aloud on YouTube, or I like take screenshots of it and show them and read it, but it's really cute. It's basically this little cow who's like, I can do big girl things, and they're like, no, you can't, and she just like continuously tries and messes them all up, and I resonate with that because I was the kid that like was just ultimate clumsy, like wasn't allowed to pour more than like half a glass full of juice at a time because I was so
You're overly confident too.
yeah, and I was like, no, I can do it. Like, but in the end, you know, this little cow, this little ox, winds up saving the whole village because, you know, the dam collapses and she's the only one around because they're all selling their things at the market, and she was left home because she's such a mess. And so she holds the line until they came. And then they all helped her, and then she rescues her best friend, and it's really cute. You know, it's just like sometimes you know that you can do things because you can do things, but also sometimes you can't do things.
No limitations. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes you need to push. I like all the dichotomy.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh.
Symbolism is about.
Bye, Laura. Bye, Laura. That was a very dramatic exit.
Mic drop. Sometimes you can do things, and sometimes you can't.
I was trying to get to my rhythm. Oh my gosh.
And the symbolism behind, you know, events becomes so undeniable that people can't be like, oh, that's just some, you know, woo-woo, hippy-dippy bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Where, like, everything just lines up so much. That was exactly what happened, and you can't even totally deny that.
I have one toy for Chinese New Year.
Ooh.
I have one toy that I found at the dollar store yesterday.
Nice.
Sick.
And it actually works.
Sweet.
Yeah, so for all the makeup that I put on these days, you know.
Laura, I sent you a video from a musical that I saw that was based on Game of Thrones, and the whole thing was satire. It was so funny, but then the song I sent you happened, and it was like, this guy was such a performer, and he was so serious, like, I cried.
Yeah.
He was like stomping the floor and like creating theatrical beats with his body, like, anyways.
I will watch it. Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
Is anyone else a Game of Thrones?
Even just the mention of Hodor is pretty upsetting still to me.
Yeah. Fall on the
It's actually really
floor.
nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I think
If anyone else
I
is
might
a Game of
paint-
Thrones person, I will send it to you as well. But yeah, what, Nick?
Sorry, I need to work on my timing and saying things.
Well, you know what else it is that we can't see your face, and we can't see that you're like wanting to talk. So I think that's the problem. You know, that's
True.
we can't see your facial expressions and your
Like when I go-
body language.
Yeah, you just look happy and content.
Nick,
Yeah.
if you try changing your video input and then changing it back,
Yes.
that might like refresh your webcam.
I'll try some things in a bit. I just don't want to get frustrated with trying all this shit and not having anything work.
I understand.
Yeah. I'll work on it when I'm patient. But no, I was going to say, I think...
in the conversation, man. And you just gotta butt in.
Yeah. Listen to what I'm about to say. God
Yeah.
bless it.
Shut the fuck up.
No, what I was going to say is I'm feeling like I might paint an ox too.
Nice.
That's why I was sketching one first. But I might paint one tonight just to have it like in the house for New Year.
Awesome.
So cool.
That'll be cool.
Mhm.
If I do, I will live stream it on
Cool.
Twitch.
Nice.
Where can we find you on Twitch? I probably missed this earlier. I apologize.
Nick the Renaissance Man.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Good. That's what I'm going for.
I'm not good at making sense on the internet. I have like 7 accounts on every website, and none of them
Oh, who are you
make
telling?
any sense.
Yeah,
I actually ran out of
process.
logins for
It's been a
Instagram. They were like,
process.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
There we go.
Instagram
Yeah,
told me
like,
that I
I
can't
had-
log in any more accounts.
Oh shit. Yeah.
You have reached the limit. You have
I
interneted
know,
too much.
I've gotten to the point with like having certain emails. It's like, should I just like delete all of this and like if there's anything in there valuable, just like cut my losses? Did you
I
just
feel that as
sign
well.
same?
I did, yeah.
Just
Sorry.
like saying
Teacher,
you signed?
I'm on Zoom all day. Yeah, a handful of things like that are logical for children. Like
Okay.
I can teach everyone how to say their favorite color, you know.
Uh-huh.
Do you sign?
Not fluently, but I met somebody who's deaf about 2 years ago, and she was like couch surfing with us. So we were communicating through text, and I figured, hey, like you're gonna be here for another 2 days. Why don't you just teach me some sign? And I started picking it up fast. It's pretty easy to pick up quick. It's not like learning a brand new language. You already know all the words. You're learning muscle memory. The grammar is different, but yeah. And then I started learning on
Grammar doesn't
YouTube.
even really matter,
And,
which is why I love it.
yeah.
I mean, sometimes it does, but
Kind of.
mostly you can get what someone's
Yeah.
trying to say. Yeah, and it's definitely one of those things. If you use it, you keep it, and the muscle memory is great. That's why I use it with kids. I teach all English learners. So when in doubt, like we're signing something, because if you say it and do a motion with it, then it will transfer into long-term memory faster. Says metacognition, which means thinking about your thinking. Scientists say I say that a lot
2
in my
months.
classes.
So I met this person in December, and then I visited them in late March. And after like that second time we met, we didn't communicate at all through text. If anything, we would finger spell.
Nice.
But
that's the best way
like,
to
in that
learn.
time
That's
period,
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that time
very
period,
cool.
I like picked up enough to like keep conversation and understand people. It's great because like the deaf community is like they're the most patient people in the world. They by nature they have to.
Totally.
So like if you know how to finger spell or are curious about it, yeah. Bill Vickers.
They're hella funny.
On YouTube. Bill Vickers on YouTube. He's a great teacher, but he's also he's also pretty funny.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I took sign language in. What is it? One more time.
VICARS. Bill Vickers on YouTube. Life Print is his company.
Nice.
For anybody listening.
Yeah, we're still streaming, huh? I took sign language in college with the intention to use it for a special ed degree, and then I never went SPED, but I've worked in SPED classrooms and actually been a SPED teacher without a certificate as a long-term sub, so it worked out, but it's been more beneficial, I think, even for like my English learner students. So yeah, I wish when I was in college, I took everything more seriously. I wish I had taken everything more seriously and really juiced it since I'm still paying for it. But we had to go to like events every quarter, I think it was, like sign language events. So conventions or like go to sign language meetups. And it was always like, I mean, like I've never laughed so hard. Like we were being college kids, like doing college kids things. But my favorite times were like going to the Panera and sitting around with, a bunch of people that were signing and kind of like they were definitely jabbing at us and like making fun of the students.
They're pretty cheeky.
Like, you guys have
yeah,
but it was so funny. I was proposed to and I said yes. I didn't know. Like it was it was good. It was a good time.
That's good.
That sounds about how I feel like about school in general. I just feel like I paid more attention.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I had this place that had all these labs, right? Like art lab, auto shop lab, like, and I didn't utilize that? What the
I was.
Yeah, same. Fucking same, man.
I wasn't even there half the fucking time. I dropped out when I was 16, so I didn't even finish.
Oh
high school.
yeah.
So I went to fucking
Man.
prison instead of college. So,
I know. If I could have free education now with all those resources, I'd be all like I'd be there like 8 hours a day.
yeah, that's how I look at it. I'm like, fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you were
Oh, I know this guy.
at the age though, if you were 16 right now, you would be like, fuck school.
Nope,
Yeah, no.
not a chance in hell.
Yep, nope. I'd be like, sorry, I need to do other things.
I'm still frustrated from my youth because we had a preschool at my high school where like not for the high schoolers, which would have been super cool, but no, they weren't that progressive. It was a preschool where like if you wanted free preschool, it was high schoolers and then the teacher that would be teaching your child. So first year you learned pedagogy, second year you were teaching a little bit, third year you were teaching a lot, and fourth year you were like observing and an admin basically to those other students. And so I didn't take any other electives because my mom was like, you want to be a teacher, you're going to take all of these, and the end, case closed. So like all my friends are in pottery trying to make bongs and shit, and I'm over here like
I'm teaching.
I've literally been doing this for 15 years now, and I'm only 31. This is not like, what is this life?
That is awesome. I love
Very
that.
frustrating.
That's
I wish I had played more.
I did not know.
That's why I'm so playful now, I think, though.
You're playful.
I mean, I definitely look at it that way. Like, I was much less playful when I was young, and it kept me out of trouble. That now I know how to be playful and not get in trouble.
Yeah.
Or at least get in the good kind of trouble.
Instead of
Right.
like, getting in a whole bunch of trouble when I was young, and then now that I'm older, like burned out on being playful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is kind of thing
True.
happened to me. I got into too much fucking trouble, and now I'm like way boring. I'm the old man out of all my friends, you know.
I'm like, I don't think you're boring, Joe. I
I
only
don't think
know
you're
you
boring.
from here, but I do not think you're boring.
Well, I'm the old
think
man
how
out of
you,
all my
like,
friends.
Want
I
to
mean,
stay home all the time and not go do shit. You're like, I need to recalibrate. And I'm gonna choose who I spend time with.
You seem to be intellectually playful.
I definitely,
Appreciated.
yeah. I'm definitely the thinker type. So I live in my fucking head, that is for sure.
Did I tell you that I set my homepage for my work site's computers to the daily I Ching?
Mm.
Cool.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was like, there's got to be a website where there's a daily thing. Don't tell me it doesn't exist.
I have that on my phone, actually.
You have it, yeah, cool. I like that, like, before I can even log into my email, I have to look at it. I have to look at, the hexagram,
That's awesome.
which is neat. Yeah. It's fun.
That's wonderful. Yeah,
But
great.
I know you're all the Tao.
Fuck me. It's what makes the most sense to me, man. Everybody's got their own interpretation. I think it's kind of all the same stuff, but
The Tao makes a lot of sense to me too.
Yeah.
I feel like of Eastern philosophy, I feel like I vibe with Taoism the most.
Yep. Yeah, if you had to ask me my religious orientation and I had to give you an answer, that's what I would probably tell
My boundary is I'm not going to answer that question. Is that okay?
you. Right.
Why not, Laura?
I couldn't help myself.
Well,
I've been
why won't you
waiting.
answer that question?
No, I was
Yeah,
Sam,
my
wait,
boundary
Sam.
is people already telling me that
Hold on.
without even asking the question.
Wait, hold on. I'm here if you'd like to tell me about your experience with that boundary.
I would like to tell you
I
my
need to understand, and you need to tell me because you got to face that fear.
I will gladly tell you my experience with it.
He's like, first off.
No, it's too though, because I realize how Christian I am. We all are, just in general. But
Who's the echo?
I don't know. It went away now. But yeah, I realize how ingrained Christianity is, and and scientism is also ingrained in me, you know. And then I
Not just you, our culture.
right.
Our entire culture.
That's kind of what I
Our
mean.
whole country, puritanical beliefs. That's why they can't, you know?
Yeah.
Approach those beliefs from a Taoist perspective, and then they make sense. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the Christianity that is getting
Hey,
backed
baby.
on by all the atheists. Because I used to be that guy. Like I literally have the cross of confusion tattooed on my arm. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, fuck religion, right? I was that guy that was like, the Bible's stupid. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Blah 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 blah. It all makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But only because I found Eastern philosophy, because I found Taoism, and I could assess that belief system through Taoism, and it all just, you know, now it's like, oh, okay, cool, you know, and it's, nobody's speaking bullshit to me anymore. So I can do the Christian background that I had, you know.
I sent you John Craigie, right? We talked about
Yes.
John Craigie.
Yes.
He was raised very religious, so he has a lot of songs that are kind of about, you know, the Bible or about religion. One of them is, what is it, like the Jericho Blues? What's that guy's name from the Bible? Hold on. I'm gonna find it. It's so good. It's so good. If
I
you
wish
didn't
that my
stumble on
camera
it.
was on so you guys could see me eating.
Well, you guys see all of us eating already. So.
We can get an ASMR moment though if you. Yep, there it is.
I don't know about that.
Bitcoin is
The boundaries are
I mean, like Bitcoin crunching on a chicharron is different than like hearing every little detail of like the jaw moving around and like the saliva like moving around. Because I was hearing that. I was hearing all those details.
Bitcoin is the only one authorized for ASMR.
That's what I was going for.
But yeah, it's what's it called when you're like someone that has the phobia of like listening to people eat or
yeah, there's
mouth
something. Yeah.
Is that a phobia? I just hate it.
Yeah, no, but like there's a difference. There's like a switch where it becomes, you know, it's, I mean, in the psychological terms. My cousin has it with like people brushing their teeth or like flossing. Like she physically can't be anywhere near or hear anything. She'll like throw up.
100% tell somebody like, I'm not going to eat with you unless you close your mouth. Like I will remove myself from a table. But it's not like that I physically can't. Like
you make your boundary clear.
I make my boundary real clear. Like you learn how to chew with your mouth closed, or I'm gonna turn this way and you can turn that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now it's on both sides' responsibility.
Yeah. And I'm like, and maybe your feelings will be hurt by that. I'm willing to accept that response to my boundary. Hi, puppers.
It's Leviticus. It's Talkin' Leviticus Blues,
of course,
Joe. But I can also send it to you. Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, please. You're on Facebook.
Oh, I was just gonna send it to you in here.
I mean, either way.
Do you have Spotify?
Yeah, I don't use it.
This is Maisie.
This
is Maisie.
Yeah, this is Maisie.
This
is my girlfriend.
Because that's your girlfriend.
This is my girlfriend.
That's your girlfriend.
That's your girlfriend.
I just came across pictures of them when I visited that I thought I had lost.
Girlfriend's hot, dude.
Oh yeah.
Did she just wake up? Because they were sleeping earlier, yeah?
Yeah, she just came in she was sleeping on our bed in the other room. We haven't put together, we just got a bed frame and we don't have, the box spring doesn't come until Saturday. So the mattress is just like sitting on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So the dogs just assume it's a king size dog bed.
This is for us.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
They're so excited to have a gigantic new bed.
Right? That's so funny.
I'm gonna go eat dinner. But
yeah.
I'll see some of you guys on Sunday. Hopefully all of you.
Yeah.
Come
I'm looking forward to it.
Do a shout out.
Yeah, I think I can come. My meeting isn't until I think if it takes less than 2 hours, then I can come.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sure people will hang out for a long time, but I'm planning like an hour to like
Oh,
actually,
great. Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people will take longer too.
Cool.
But yay, I'm looking forward to seeing you
Yeah.
and everybody. Thanks for the good sesh, guys. And
Yeah,
now
it was
I
good.
have next time.
Yay! I love your glasses too.
These
I
are
couldn't
my.
see them on my phone earlier.
I got these geocaching.
Nice.
So you can find.
Cool.
You too can find swag like this.
So I didn't even get to tell you. I found 2. Sorry, I know you want to leave. So if that's
It's okay.
serious,
I'm
then
excited.
no. I found 2 in my neighborhood. I like went on a date and we did it. We like went to look for one together, but then we couldn't figure it out. So I went back because I was like, I can't let this go. Like it's got to be here. He's wrong. I'm looking for it. And so now I'm like, I'm not geocaching with you anymore. You suck.
I was like that with my friend Sean. I was like, you're not enthusiastic about this, nor are you good at it. So we'll just go on walks. Yeah. Dude. But yay, I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you too. Everyone have a good night.
Good night, Kayla. We'll see you on Sunday.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Gonna celebrate all the New Years.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
do you
man.
do you regularly celebrate all the real holidays, Laura?
I celebrate Lunar New Year because I think it is a more valid New Year's celebration.
Yeah.
And
All the real holidays, like
And
because
it's another excuse to clean your house.
yeah, and well, also because they fell so far apart, I was like, I'll just do that the week of Lunar New Year. I don't need to clean that this week. I'll do that week. But now I've put it all off, and I'm like stressed out. But it's fine. I just super appreciate like feng shui and anything that has to do with like the stars, really, you know. So I study Hellenistic astrology, and so that's like a gateway to all these other forms of divination.
yeah, it's kind of us. It's just like living with the seasons, living with the visible cycles.
Yeah.
I was actually listening to a pod today, and they were talking about how we are so disconnected from symbolism because we can legitimately not even see the sunrise. You know what I'm saying? We can spend
Right.
so much time inside. We aren't connected to the natural cycles. We aren't connected to the moon, to the stars, to the sun. None of that. It's not relevant in our frame.
Right.
And so that's why we don't. That's why we're so disconnected from patterns and symbolism and totems and all these other things in life that these older, more ancient traditional cultures take so seriously,
Right.
and are so integral in their frame of reference.
Totally.
Basically because we have no connection between ourselves and the natural world. You know what I'm saying? In our
Right.
culture. So I've done a lot of work in my life to move to live with the seasons and with the natural cycles, and it
Yeah.
has made my life
So
infinitely
much better.
better.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's
much.
fucking crazy the difference.
Totally.
If you're just get ready for winter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like simple shit like
Yeah,
that.
says the Virgo. Aren't you a Virgo?
No, I'm a Libra.
Oh, I think you might be a Virgo rising, if I recall correctly. Sorry. Either way, similar vibes. Similar vibes. Ushering in the dark part of the year, you know?
Yeah.
It matters. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it's like be ready. You know that you're gonna get sad and heavy in the winter. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for spring and come out and cleanse and new growth, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Go hard and get it. You know?
Or move to San Diego and leave your seasonal affective disorder behind. Or have it all year round in San Francisco, and living in a super foggy neighborhood.
Oh,
I like it here.
Done both of those.
Seasons. Our spring and fall aren't real long, but
Yeah.
our transition seasons aren't super long, but we do have all 4 seasons, so it's really nice.
Right.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I like the moon cycles and stuff like that, and just moving with that has given me a much more. It's like almost a more valid calendar in my life.
Totally. Well, it is the calendar.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally is the calendar. That's why the Gregorian calendar is such garbage. Like, what?
Right.
What do you mean our months are garbage? Like,
Yeah.
the moon is the months and
Yeah.
the solar is the year. Like,
Month. That's where that word comes from.
yeah, horary means of the hour. You know, it's like these are not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So-
very frustrating.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because I don't, people are like celebrating these cultural holidays, rather than the like.
You mean like this?
No, I mean specifically like these more arbitrary like.
You mean Christmas? Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, but like St. Patty's Day, Mardi Gras,
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Even
Yeah.
that, but like Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
all the people around me celebrate all that stuff. And then when it comes to us, we do things on the solstice and the equinox and the new moon,
Yeah.
and the full moon, and
And the old holidays that they tried to expel from
Right.
our understanding, or they embedded a holiday into it, but some of them survived, some of them didn't. Like Mayfair,
May
like
Day.
the spring, the spring holiday of like literally go out in the field and find a partner and make a baby.
yeah,
And then play with the flowers and the things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the traditional holidays are still around, but I try and just stick with the seasons, and that's when we do important shit. So
Yeah, it makes sense. And it also is like going with the flow of the energy, which is
right. And
like
that's what I mean by like how it changed my life, because now I'm all of a sudden it's like the I Ching, it's
Yeah.
the same thing. You're moving with the progress of, or the process of change, rather than it kind of like an intellectualizing
you.
what it should be, and
Right.
tossing and turning around in the current.
Feeling synced up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we talk about this in here before? I can't remember, but I've been, and maybe this is something from Sam or John, I can't remember who, but I'm trying to get rid of should. So I've been doing a great job. Like, even when I was texting someone, like I was gonna say, like, should I call you in 5? Because I was like, shall I call you in 5 minutes? Like, as silly as that.
I know exactly.
But the rest of the time, I'm just like,
should, and those predisposition things. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. What's another one?
Ought.
You ought to. I actually ought, because we don't use it that much. Feels nicer than should, but the shoulds and the shouldn'ts and the
Ought means like may. You know what I'm saying? And not as so much as like needs to have been, like should does.
mm-hmm.
Should imply some sort of like offense, or like criminality to the whole thing. I feel like. Whereas
Sorry, I thought I heard a dog growling. Is Bitcoin growling? Am I crazy?
No, he's happy. He's like chilling.
yeah, he was like sleeping there for a minute.
It must be Nian.
He's like, he was using the tea tray as a pillow. It was sweet.
I coughed in my microphone on
I
accident.
heavily
It
read.
was you. Just kidding.
Again, yeah, we can't see your body language, so it's really hard for us to communicate with you here, Nick.
I mean, earlier in the conversation, I threw on my suit. Now I'm naked.
Oh dear.
No idea what's going on back there.
That's funny. It would be great if your camera just clicks on randomly. You're not even in the tab. You're like,
I'm like,
full.
I've got a tea. I'm dunking a tea bag in a cup while I'm naked. Oh shit! Totally not.
Red-handed. Oh, I was telling Nick about this. We went on a hike the other night, and I was telling him, like, there's a meme going around TikTok right now called the Silhouette Challenge, where like you start like dancing, and then like the music changes, and there's like a filter that like darkens everything, and you can make like a sexy looking silhouette. And a lot of people are making these videos. There's some funny ones. They're not all sexy. Most of them are sexy. And I guess like there's a problem because hackers are like removing the filter and then posting these videos. You know, people are trusting TikTok too much, you know, like they're using the filter and then yeah, those things can be taken off, you know.
Oy veg vault.
Yeah. And we wonder why 53% of women get sexualized on the internet.
I'm surprised it's only 53%.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the orgasm gap then?
Yeah, that's a
Because
big
I got
one.
into an argument with this with someone this
What
week
is
about
that?
this.
Please tell me what that means.
Does everyone have consent? I don't really. I mean, I was half joking with the conversation, but it goes in line with that 53% of women are sexualized on the internet, yet there is a huge gap in the rate of orgasm from any kind of sex between cis hetero women and cis hetero men. Oh, nice.
Oh, yay, Tef! Oh, yay!
Hello, everyone.
You look so cozy, Tef.
I am super cozy. Like, I have my duvet around the legs. I have a chocolate by the hand. I have stretching.
I have a chocolate by the hand.
Yummy.
A cup of chocolate. Or cacao.
Is it so rude if I
speaking my
get up
language,
and
Jeff.
hang out via only
Yep.
voice?
Yeah,
Or
you
just,
can do
like-
it. Yeah, and Laura, you should finish. You should finish what you were talking about too, because
Sorry.
am legit.
Speaking of finishing,
You guys chat.
speaking of finishing,
Yeah, women rarely do.
yeah.
Drop the mic. I'm walking away now. No. Yeah, so the argument that I got in, or the debate that I got in, wasn't an argument. I was just like, hey, we need to talk about this if we're going to talk about this. This person who is like a relationship coach and has this huge following was like, you know, porn is a great tool, but it can be desensitizing, just like how if you use a vibrator, you can become desensitized and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, skirt, hold on. Like, great, good idea with a comparison. I acknowledge there are studies that show that, you know, overuse of vibrators can cause lack of sensation, da-da-da-da. Fine. But considering there's a huge orgasm gap between cis hetero men and cis hetero women, maybe let's use a different example to talk about how porn is desensitizing, like, and you know, or maybe mention that on your page. I was just offended.
Mm-hmm. There's women. Oh, sorry, Joe.
I mean, even from a man's perspective, like, you know, it's like masturbation it desensitizes you to some extent, you know. But that's not a good example of what she was like trying to.
But if the statistics are like 70% of women that are cis hetero don't have an orgasm from vaginal intercourse, and 100% of or like 90% of the time men do, maybe like we need
There's
to
a
be
cultural
concerned
thing,
about.
or there's definitely there's like a
Over
relationship.
sexualization of women. It's there literally there are reasons, right? Over sexualization of women, slut shaming, like you know, a society where women can't ask or haven't learned or been taught or feel comfortable or feel there's a safe space to ask for what they like or need, and then it just circles back to like slut shaming or over sexualization. So it's like
This is super interesting.
super frustrating.
So, but you know, I'm going to nitpick your words just a little bit, but I don't think I understand what you're saying. You mentioned specifically with vaginal intercourse.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's actually, but but I haven't read these studies as of late. But I think that's what they're referring to because they say cis men.
So given my firsthand knowledge of how the male orgasm works and my secondhand knowledge of how a female orgasm works.
Yes.
The vagina is specifically designed to cause an orgasm for the male orgasm. If you want to give a woman an orgasm, often the penis is not designed to hit the spots that do that most effectively?
A vaginal.
There are,
right?
but okay, so there are multiple ways that one can orgasm though, and
Right,
there are lots of
Right.
books about this.
Vaginal
So
orgasm is actually
yeah, you're
Have
right.
ways-
I
women have-
misspoke. I meant
women have
sex
a
in
larger
general.
variety.
You're right. I meant sex in general because it's not just vaginal. Because sex can be like reading books together. You know what I mean? Like sex is whatever you say it is. Sex isn't just P in V. So sorry, you're right. I misspoke.
I feel like your real
That statistic's probably way higher.
I feel like your real point here is that men always get off and women don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a super valid point. And I know this is the truth for a ton of relationships. It's also why people have so many fucking children. It's because men just like get off no matter what. They're super selfish lovers.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all
Wait,
about
Nick, you're here.
Oh,
Yeah, Nick is here.
yeah,
And
I
He's
just
not
keep
here,
I,
just
I
kidding.
keep updating I keep changing the camera and then changing it back, but
Well,
it freezes.
at least
so I'm
you've
just gonna it's dark now.
You've at least changed the expression on your face, and this expression is much more appropriate for the conversation we're having right
Yeah,
now.
Intrigued.
Whoa.
No, it's intriguing. It's like tell me more. Tell me more.
No, but it's a huge
But
thing. I mean,
you're right.
even in porn, like the few porns that I've seen, like women certainly at least say they're orgasming in the porn, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like an authentic, real one. So like, even if that's like a man's gauge of what sex with a woman should be like, and then women end up just like faking to
That's
to
a
just
whole-
emulate
yeah,
that.
The porn industry, I'm not even gonna touch. Because I can't. That's too many psychological things. I'm gonna go clean if we're going in that direction.
No.
That's my boundary. Because as a porn, advocate and like sex worker advocate and adult film advocate and in general art advocate, yet I also have a lot of strong opinions like based on studies as well. So it's far too much. But at least that is true, that then women learn that they need to fake and then they have to relearn how to be honest or
Yeah.
unlearn how to fake, and it's
under any
so
impression.
fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when growing up, there was no woman that was ever like, you need to do something here to
Different.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But I come from like I was raised by a woman, and I'll just get vulnerable with you. Like, I've always been one to, I'm not done until she's done. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
That's
Nice
super.
guys finished last.
That's super. You know what I mean? And yes, that's absolutely true. I mean, it's like this. We're both here. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't just about me blowing my load and walking. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that women are actually communicating this to men. You know, well, like you
Or that
said,
they have the tools to do it.
right, absolutely.
Big Mouth does this great if you've ever watched that
Oh, yeah.
show.
I like
Where
that
she
show.
like has to
Yeah.
learn to tell him like, oh, I don't like that. Like, oh, that hurts actually. Like
Is
that's
this the one with the
owie.
characters and
The hormone monsters?
It's Nick-
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so my life
Yeah,
was trouble
yeah.
about this. I'm gonna have to watch this.
It's
It's
the
hilarious.
first season's good, and then the most recent season's great. The ones in between are garbage because
Okay.
they didn't have good writing. Just to be honest, and it's much more inclusive.
I
But
think
so
the
it's like
seventh
there's like a
episode-
sex ed
Oh,
application there or what?
kind of. I mean, it's an adult cartoon, but no, they do touch on like cultural like issues. Like there was an episode of one dude gets like labeled as a head pusher when he's like making out with a girl, and like how that like becomes this whole thing, and then they like end up at the Seinfeld coffee shop, like explaining what a head pusher is and shit.
That one was a good one. I give it that one.
Yeah.
I think that was early on. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Wait, we didn't ask Tef if this is past his boundary because we were already having this conversation when he
That
came in,
looks
and I
cozy.
feel really
That looks
inclined
so
to.
cozy.
Mm-hmm.
that looks super cozy.
I will rather,
Yeah,
instead of asking what my boundaries is, I must sad admit this is one of the points where I feel I've go so further that you have not even touched my boundary yet. You cannot even see it, sadly.
Oh, we'll get there.
Great. I mean, I'm still gonna stand up. I have a Bluetooth
Yeah.
headset in, so if
Yeah.
you're okay with me not physically being here,
That's
don't leave me
okay.
fit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Challenge.
Hey, so when I was in the Peace Corps, when I was in Niger, West Africa, and it
Many
was
times.
like a Muslim community, you know, and there's definitely a gender gap in this conversation. You know, the fucking men can have up to 4 wives, you know, so like that in itself really tells you the difference in power between the genders. But there was a Peace Corps volunteer in my like area. And she felt really passionately about like the same thing that we're talking about right now, Laura.
That
And
is a
she-
perfect substitute. Sorry for speaking over your life.
Yeah.
I must admit, that substitute for Laura is perfect. It is cuddly, it is cute, and it is looking precisely at us. Perfect substitute when we connect with the
Yeah.
OG original.
Yeah, it's so
I just
good.
need to point that out. I'm sorry to speak over you.
No, it's okay, Tef. Yeah, thanks
You'll have to tell me if you guys can still hear me.
yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, thanks for leaving the bear to hold space for us. But
Yeah, I hate being
Hey, as long as we're relatively on this topic,
yeah.
we could definitely plug Dan Savage's Hump Indie Porn Film Festival that's going on right now.
Oh wow.
Hump?
Hump. It's an amateur porn film festival.
Interesting.
It's
Go on.
It's a festival of where amateurs have submitted videos, and check out Hump. What is it? HumpFilmFest.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
What did you say?
I'll send it. I'll give you a red letter.
Red envelope.
Yeah.
That's why I got
Cancel my plans tonight.
So this Peace Corps volunteer ended up writing a proposal for a grant to fund an education initiative in her village to teach the men how to give oral sex, and to teach both the men and the women how to give oral sex. And but Linus,
This is Ohm. Are you talking about Ohm? No.
No, this is in Africa. This is
okay.
in the Peace Corps. Yeah, it was. It was completely inappropriate, but like it was cool that she still wrote it. I mean, it was totally denied, and like the Peace Corps actually had to like kind of reprimand her and tell her like, please do not talk about this in your village, and tell them what you wanted to do, because it would be, you know, totally inappropriate.
Sex education, though.
Yeah, but like this was very specific sex education that's like morally against, you know, spiritually, religiously, what they think about sex, you know.
Right.
But it was just kind of interesting, and plus we were young, like this was a long time ago. But it's just kind of a funny story, as she wanted to teach all her. I like just imagine like this Peace Corps volunteer teaching, you know, all the men and the women about oral sex.
God, I mean, if that's what the Peace Corps really, that's why I didn't join. I wanted to, and then I found out it wasn't that.
I'll be right back, Hannah.
Yeah, I mean, you could
guys.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Hump Film Festival like promo video.
Yeah.
It actually looks like really cool and artistic.
Nice.
And like, yeah, actually, I remember having a conversation with somebody. If I like did continue to like watch porn, that it would have to be like really like artistic and like not just the same kind of bullshit that's been on the internet forever, but something.
No, this is high quality stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not just sexual. Yeah, it's not sexual. It's not just sexually appealing. It's also like artistic.
That's cool.
Hey, we love that.
Yeah, because it's the desacralization that I have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I don't know, man.
cool to be open with sex and to explore and all of that, but it's when you are abusing it like you would fucking heroin or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it becomes a problem to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is like everything in moderation, including moderation, though. You know, you can do that with anything.
I love that. I love that.
You only learn what moderation is from not moderating. You know.
Exactly.
Growing up, man, I was so blessed. I had from the time I was like 16 to well, like probably 15 to 19. I had the same girlfriend, and we explored everything. You know what I'm saying? And we communicated the whole process, and I got to really learn a woman. You know what I mean? I actually had an opportunity to be like, okay, what do you like? What is comfortable? And like talk it all out and like really get into like what is a sexual relationship? What is okay? What is good for them? What is good for you? You know, and then as I went into my later relationships, you know, I was there for the women, not just a fucking dickbag like a lot of men are. You know, but the reason they are is because nobody would ever taught them how to be sensual in the first place. You know, there's such a problem with men and just not even knowing how to be sensual.
Yeah, this is something that I encounter in my dating life.
Absolutely.
Hey, my body is different than every other body you've ever touched. So like, let's talk about the things that feel good for me and things that don't feel good for me. And then like, it's really cool to tell someone who's like, yeah, communication, I'm down for it. And someone who's like, oh, like, I mean, like basically slut shaming without words, you know? And you're like, okay, cool. So we're done here. And I hope that you find the puritanical woman of your dreams. And she's not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't get no more magic. Boundary.
Yeah. Actually knowing how a woman's body works is knowing how to communicate with that woman to actually learn how her body works, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, there it is. I've been waiting for that. Sorry. My cousin says that too.
FYI, I'm burning Palo Santo for all of us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that, Nick. Thank you very much.
I wish I could show you on video.
Actually,
did you guys know that there's an epidemic right now of men in their 20s being prescribed Viagra?
I did hear that,
Are you
actually.
serious?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of overuse of...
Jesus Christ, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I could not imagine.
I dated someone who was 23 when I was 18 who had ED, and he was also prescribed Viagra. That was 10.
What do you think the ED is? To me, I would say the most likely source of that would be something like, I hate to use a stereotype, of something in the water. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they did that for sure.
The shit fucking with our hormones, you know.
But
tell us more.
the articles that I've read on it, because that piqued my interest. You know, especially since I've also been having, you know, like unclear, freaking unbalanced experiences and relationships, especially with younger men. But anyway, the articles say the doctors that they've interviewed are saying, you know, as they're counseling, and most of the time it's like couples. It's like married couples come in and because they can't conceive. And they end up finding out that they can't conceive because the man can't finish. And when they go through the counseling cycles, the consistent theme that they see between everybody is like an addiction to porn. And like this like unfair expectation of like variety and diversity that like a man might be able to meet a woman, fall in love with her, but then when shit starts getting real, they like lose focus, lose attention, and they can't, you know. And you know, it's like young boys from 13 years old now can learn about sex from their cell phone, from a list of different.
Oh man, younger than that, at least.
Yeah, young, of course, but.
Yeah.
And it's just at their fingertips, and you know, a common, you know, masturbation session for them may involve, you know, scrolling through 17, you know, to 40 different videos with so many different women, and they get conditioned to that. That's what the articles say.
Right.
You know, which
That's
I kind of
such a
believe.
valid study.
Because, you know, young men that I've had experience with, they have a problem like with monogamy. They have a problem, you know, with staying focused. They may say they want monogamy, but then they end up cheating all the time. And it's like, well, what? You don't know yourself. Like, what's going on here, you know? So, could be that. I don't know. Tef, what do you think about all this?
testosterone as well. So
Mhm.
parts are acting differently.
But
You've been very quiet.
That's because we are too many. And also because like I do not want to like say something and then actually say something I do not mean, because of this is a very sensitive topic for many.
yeah. We should change the subject. I think this is a good
No,
good time.
don't do that.
No.
Because keeping this subject is something now do not need to talk about. Like, talking about the subject itself is actually interesting to say, because it is not a subject you normally would talk about openly on the street. Like, when did you last sit in a cafe with a friend and talked about sex openly?
Right, I wish we did that more. What's wrong with our society? Why can't we talk about orgasms?
I'm not saying that we
we
need to
talk
do it
about
every
poop, though.
Monday at 5. I'm not saying we need to do that. But we also do not like, okay, this might get someone to burn me with the pitchfork, but like it is like breastfeeding, to be honest. It should be the same exact as breastfeeding to a certain consent. Yeah, that's because like breastfeeding
Clarify what you're saying.
Breastfeeding is a natural part of being human and being alive, and like going from one stage to another in life. So therefore, it is also like a nutrition, and it should just be allowed everywhere because like it is natural.
Bravo. You got there. Okay,
So-
you had me worried for a minute.
I had to worry. I know, and that's why I did not say much before.
Breastfeeding. I swear to God.
I'm anti-breastfeeding if you try to feed me. Then I'm anti-breastfeeding. But if you have a child that's born and needs the milk, you have goddamn right and need to breastfeed that child.
We
And
can
then I
get
do not care if it's 10
real
degree minus or 10 degree plus. You breastfeed that child when it is hungry, but it needs to grow naturally. And then of course there's cases where it
Do
needs
not
to grow
expect
and
a
everything
man-
else, but like
I think we have a problem there because like we all do have biological urges too, so there's a difference between like functionality and then just like biological compulsion, I definitely agree with public breastfeeding. You can do whatever the fuck you want, But,
Foods are for nourishment.
yeah.
Sexualizing secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I'm programmed naturally and culturally to look at boobs and be like, ooh.
yeah.
With looking at boobs as long as it's consensual.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, one of my friends is actually, she was one of the first people that ever breastfeed around me. And it took me a minute, you know what I'm saying? It took me a minute to like, oh, okay, you just whipped out your tit, you know what I'm saying? But then after a while, you're like, okay, so like in this context, that's not a sexual boob.
right.
You know what I mean? And then it
Yeah.
loses
Especially
its
if
life.
it's your sister.